that you're special, that this earth belongs to you as much as anybody else. And you should be formidably empowered by that knowledge, that fact, that understanding, that truth, that wisdom, that learning. Okay, that the light, the enlightenment therein, and sees that, and then you have that to offer others, and say you be, and then together we grow from that, and we can render the money masters irrelevant. That's what they fear the most. So in a nuts and bolts manner, you've got to understand how we're being oppressed, how they are, they are diverting where the attention should go, where it should be working on personal growth and freedom from the flesh. To, you got to worry about this, man. You got to pay your rent. Forget the Constitution, forget your Bill of Rights, forget your conscience, forget all that nonsense. Focus on making money, pleasing the God of this world. Look, you got to fear the financial God. That's where your reverence should lie. Okay, because if you don't, you're going to be homeless. You will be like those others out there that have failed in this perverse social Darwinian, dog eat dog, rat race, survival of the fittest, cutthroat, miserable, hyper-competitive realm we've invented for you to live in. Okay, we just keep on raising the bar and making it worse and worse and worse because, yes, we do want to depopulate. And this is a really good way of doing it. You've got to trust me. We're going to trust these people, or are we going to trust the spirit of truth? That's saying the opposite, saying, no, subjugate them, the money masters. And here's how you do it. You do it with sound currency. And you do it as a means to an end. Forget the word capitalism. That's too loaded. Forget all these terms, these political terms, socialism. And these are all economic, political. It's all a mishmash. It's all perverted and it's all conflated now. Okay, that's what it's all about. We need to just say, you know what? I'm going to think about these things in the way that God wants me to think about them. I'm going to be holy and righteous and pure. And I don't care if it goes against the grain of everybody. I don't care if they throw labels on me and call me a pipe dreamer, an idealistic, a cuckoo, nutbag, whatever. You know what? I want the best for everybody. That's it. And that includes my enemies. But they need to relent. These money masters, these perverts that would dare start dubious wars for profit and control and gain, the power therein, the relevance they get from it, that would dare inflict intentional impoverishment and oppression upon the masses, inducing all sorts of levels of criminality out there and making us be like they do it, let's be like them. And that's how I feel like we're all becoming. And Jesus predicted that too in the latter days. The hearts of many or most would wax cold. And it just, you know what? I'm okay. Screw you. I can't worry. If you're not strong enough to make it, man, that's too bad. You must be dirt poor and living under the bridge because you're a drug addict, you're lazy. You just deal with it, man. Get real. You know what I mean? Pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Go get a job. He's supposed to get a job when he's got to live in the bushes. Okay? That's the reality. Or in some shelter where he's got these draconian rules he's got to live by. He can't even have a dog. Can't have a firearm to defend himself. Is that the way it should be in America? The land of milk and honey, supposedly freedom? Okay, no. No, it should not be. And I'm not going to tolerate it. If you want to tolerate, if you want to accept it, that's okay. But I'm going to fight these guys with my dying breath. Even if when I die, it gets worse. But I'm on record that I fought the good fight. And I advise everybody out there to fight the good fight. And if we fail, all you can say, let God's will be done. I've done my best, God. You know what? I've tried to offer humanity the best that the best things that I could, that you put in my heart, my mind, and my spirit to share with people. But we got to get together on this thing, man. We got to fight these people. And the only way I know how is through demanding sound currency. I really, you know what, this is tough because people have died for this. JFK died for sound currency. Understand how radical, how controversial egalitarianism is to these people. And sound currency is a very egalitarian policy. That's why it's so controversial. That's why it's so radical. That's why they are so opposed to it, because they are wicked. They are evil. They want us in debt. The debt. And, here's another. This is a primary driver of these people. This is how they impoverish the nations, the states, and the individual. This is how they do it, through debasing your currency. And then they pay back the debt through debased currency. So the numbers are higher, so the debt keeps getting paid through fraud. It's just open, overt fraud upon fraud and heaped upon more fraud, compounded by even more fraud. That's how these people operate. When one fraud runs to an end, oh, well, let's just turn over here. Quantitative easing. Oh, we got derivatives over here. We can lend out, instead of 10-to-1 ratio, we lend out 100-to-1 ratio. Oh, let's make it 1,000-to-1. Instead of a mortgage being 30 years, let's make it 40 years, a 50-year. What about a 100-year mortgage? You understand how they do this? Keep kicking the can down the road. Stock market is soaring. Oh, yeah, the job market is so great. I don't know anybody that's getting as much work as they want in their field. Okay? And then jump on the band. It's all the works in the healthcare. Everybody jumps on the bandwagon. Oh, they're sorry, there's no work, and we're shipping in, immigrants that'll do your job for half as much. And, this is the way it goes on and on and on. They create the crises. They create the need for all the migration. They won't allow any kind of prosperity in these third world countries, even though these countries have as many resources. Understand what every nation's greatest asset is a willing workforce. Because everything gets done. When you've got a willing workforce, anything and everything can and does get done in your society, in your civilization, in your community. But if you take away a willing workforce, absolutely nothing gets done. Okay? Nothing. Nothing gets accomplished. Nothing gets produced. Nothing gets made. Okay? That's the reality. There will be no services. There will be no useful commodities out there other than what you as a hunter-gatherer over there out to go glean, catch some fish, go pick some fruit, go gather some grain, go build your log cabin, whatever. Do you understand and how the labor has been subjugated in this country, how that's so wrong and outrageous, and how you claim Christianity, you claim to be Muslim, you claim to be Jews? Well, let's properly represent God. Listen. The fact is that just being a good, decent, upright human being is good enough. If you seek the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, you will find it because you are seeking a very good thing, very important, critical element to your overall happiness and to the happiness of others. And then you go out there and espouse those same truth, you're going to win people over. And one person leads to another, and on and on. And that's all I seek to do. I give a crap about fame or fortune. Look, my reality is based on the reality that I attained from Him. I'm born unspeakably wealthy like we all are. I'm free. I'm prosperous. I'm secure. I thank God for that. But I want everybody to realize that. I want everybody to have those things. And if anything good comes out of me, it came from above. That's the one that seeks glory. He created me. And the best I can do is imitate Him and emulate Him and reap the rewards that He gives me, a righteous man, or at least a man that's trying to be righteous and upright. And even though I know the righteousness of men is as filthy rags to the Lord, because He doesn't want us tooting our own horns. It's not about us. It's about Him. Keep focused on Him and the way out of this mess. How are we going to extricate ourselves from this slavery? Because that's what it is. We're all born into it. We're all born into this monetary-based paradigm from these God-hating, these good-hating money lovers, these money masters, and all the minions thereof that go along with this system, witting and unwittingly. And the only way to do it, the only way to frustrate these plans and confound them and render them irrelevant is through sound economic policies as a means to an end, as a means to be completely free from money completely. That's it. And as hard as that might be for you to imagine, and as unnecessary as you might believe that to be because you think money is innocent and it can be used for good and it's just to facilitate exchange, whatever innocent, imaginings you have about currency, understand that is not the primary reason money exists. The primary reason it exists because it's a tool of satanic control over the masses. This is the number one method of control. This is the love of money. That's it. This advantage, which, by default disadvantages others. See, if you have it, you're advantaged. You're privileged. But if you don't have it, you know what? Then you're at a disadvantage. You're not privileged. You're subjugated by the system. And so I recommend everybody out there just help others to understand what's going on here, and do it in a way that maybe you can be more coherent, more cogent, and more well-spoken than me in getting it across. But we're in this thing together, and if you help to lead others to water, to the truth, the light of truth, you will be rewarded. That's it. When you lift others up, you yourself will be lifted. And remember that God's grace and mercy is sufficient for everybody. He forgives. As far as the east is from the west, when we turn to God and ask and confess, but just admit that you're fallible, that you think wrong thoughts a lot. You engage in the wrong behavior a lot. You may misspeak a lot. I mean, God understands that you're working in a handicapped realm, okay? And a lot of it's artificial. And none of us have any idea of what our true reality would be like. God knows that. And we should all be very grateful that God does understand these basic facts and our fallen state. And He does. And when we turn to Him, we confess our sins and we acknowledge we don't want anything that brings us down. Who in their right mind ever wants to engage in any behavior, any thought pattern that is a downer, brings them down? And that's what all sin is. You've got to admit it.